8 to divinely intervene as needed for my highest good, aka the highest good. This includes my collective, my divine collective. Yes, you are included in the title with intention. Because thank you to my new followers, my supporters. Welcome. All right. So, what are we answering here? What feeling do I and my divine collective invoke in others right now? It's a new vibe. Yeah, let's go with that. And so the left side I have here, the death card. That is the recipient side. That is the, let me see here. That's the recipient side. Oh my goodness, this is like a different, a heightened level of sternness, okay? And on the right side, the doing side, is the Empress card in reverse. Like, you know, like those cherries, there's like, how about them, you know, like, how about them apples, but it's how about them cherries. And the last time we got this, it was like, you know, your chain hang low, like the balls hanging low, clank clank. That was that reading, yeah. It was that. So so this is like the divine feminine form of it. And usually the divine feminine has a softer touch, even in the like handling business side, okay? So I would say more tactful, okay? In its most stern sense, tactful, okay? So this is exercising one's power, but there's also like the emphasis on the fire capabilities, hire and fire. But this is as a prefix, like what came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, first the firing before the hiring here. Yeah, that's the focus. So it's like doing away with what doesn't serve. Yeah, the empire. So when you're at Empress level or Emperor level, you're looking at the scope of your horizon, which includes your empire, which includes the fact that, like, you know, it's not just a singular, you know, entity speaking. It's a collective. And so you're looking out and you have to be a lot more, like, you have to be able to delegate as well as discipline. And so it's like, none of that fluff. And here, I'm getting the vibe of, like, you know, the Emperor's consult. What do you call it? The, you know, in Aladdin, Jafar. That's what I'm getting, the Jafar. Like, he knows he's, you know, he can't make eye contact. But he wants to maintain, like, audible distance from what's going on. So, this is somebody that's kind of, like, hiding out around the premises. It's different. Okay. All right. So, we got the header cards here. I also got this thing at Goodwill after I was, like, what do you call it? Donating some other stuff that didn't work out, you know, that has exhausted its lifetime with me. And it's called, Utter Nonsense. See? It was green tag 50% off, so I got it for $1.50. $1.50. Can you believe that? I never even heard of this. I just knew that I like to expand on my, like, flashcards, and throughout all of this in resourcing, I like using different items. So I cleansed it before getting on here, so I'm just gonna get one here. Okay, not the whole shebang. What is this? Money is tight this year, kids, so we're going to build a hair. Isn't that crazy? I didn't even expect that. I didn't even know, like, I don't even know what to expect out of these cards, but money is tight this year, kids, so we're going to build a hair. Instead of build a bear, I guess hair is like a rabbit that, in its cosmic sense, it's, or cosmic occult sense, it's fertility. It depicts the Empress, right? And the Empress has to be objective in their doings when having to lay down the law. And so, oh, mommy, your belly is getting so big. Please tell me there's an Hatchimal in there. Anyway, so again, the Empress here depicted. So something is growing. People can, the feeling that you invoke in others is this vibe of fertility, like the proof that, you know, you're getting your gains energetically. And in a time where it's there's a lot of scarcity, it's like across the board, there's a lot of eyes on the prize, whether or not it's their own, you know. Oh, I just sneezed a little bit. Anyway, so people are doing like their own puppets, you know, like you see that on one of my feeds, like, and I think I had a short highlight and there was still some channeled music tied to it, and it's I'm Not Your Puppet by High C. And then right after that, it was, you know, the uses of building a puppet. So that's what we're looking at here. So in the most divine sense, those that we inspire, those that you know, are emitting the same frequencies, or similarly speaking, getting on the same wavelength, they are doing the workings for themselves rather than against any other community. So that's interesting. So there's proof of it. Very, very nice. I like to see that. I didn't know what to expect. Okay, so since this is the Empress that we're talking about, we'll get one more here. Ding, ding, ding. Just wait until your father hears about this over Skype. Do people use Skype still? I mean, I still have it, like, I think as an app on my phone, or, you know, within reach. I still have my account, but I don't think people use it. Like, FaceTime is so relevant now. Through, what is it? Sorry, I forgot to put the castor oil thing on last night. I did it during the daytime, but, you know, when you're active, it only lasts for so long. So I'm gonna have to get back to that. Anyway, talking about the Emperor. This is old school Emperor then. Not so old school, not like, yeah, this is, so, oh my goodness. So the Emperor is in transit. They're, whatever it is, they could also be in downtime, you know, vacation, or, but I feel like this is more business oriented and expansion. And so, as far as the Empress is involved, it's like holding down the fort. So there's some like, I'm gonna have to report you, basically, energy. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so what feeling do I and my Divine Collective invoke in others? Interesting. Knight of Stones in reverse, Seven of Swords in reverse, and Queen of Stones in reverse. So this is bringing in, what do I say? I think this is the new hall. Yeah, just go with that. So, this is a special delivery of no bullshit energy. And these are entrepreneurs, like other female entrepreneurs, or those that are about to also birth, because this is the best mother in of all queens. So there's new preggers, people who are yeah, these are hopeful, not just aspiring, but great prospects with great potential. So that's what it's bringing in. Or that, and so what feeling do we invoke in others is inspiration, allure almost, that works. So it's not just bait, it's allure. And so that's also L-U-R-E as well as A-L-L-U-R-E. There's an allure with the right crowd. I just spat a little bit and it just landed right here. I just wiped it off on the death card. Yeah, so there's like salivating, but it's almost like excitement and not a drool. So there's activity here. Okay, So I know from my Pomona Bazaar kiddos that that I know that there were great things to come. Like, you can bank on it, but the Ten of Pentacles in its maximum form can be translated to so many things. Like, what do your divine guides? What do like the true tippity top, um, like that collective? What do they know about our particular um, understandings of wealth? And how can we expand upon that? You know, how can they tap us on the shoulder and it's like, hey, but this is actually more, you know? It's kind of like a good consult. Like, you come in knowing, you thinking that you've done your research and you're like, hey, I think I want to go here. I looked at your plans or whatever, and your tiers, and I think this one works best for me. So like a lazy ass person would be like, or like somebody, a rookie in the field would be like, okay, this is the process. And but then like an expert consult would be like, oh, you know what? I see where you're going with that, but I think with your goal set in mind, we can go about it in this direction and it'll land you in a better atmosphere. So that's what it's looking at like over here. Okay. So okay, all right. What feeling do we invoke in others right now? This one. 9 of Swords in reverse and 8 of cauldrons in reverse. This is actually really nice because it's not fleeing anything, but it's like there's a rationale behind it. I think there's health issues and symptomatic things that we're experiencing, or my collective is experiencing, that is a wear and tear on the innards, basically. There's a lot of stress, let's say heightened cholesterol or whatever, and so like the prefix, the rationale to this is like, there's no need to stress out, you know. We already know the areas of emphasis, but there's no need to add an extra resistance or forcefulness to it. Like it, we need a good night's rest, like baby's rest, you know, kind of the lure there. It's like the showcase, like with the top hat, you know, that kind of energy there. Almost like a joke, but it's, you know, you deserve your rest. You deserve to rest in peace and walk in peace and do in peace. And so that's what they're showing here. And so as far as walking, it's kind of like leaving a chaotic, congested scenario behind. And it might have the essence of home here, but it's like 1 hut, 2 hut, 3 hut. What is that song? I don't know. Anyway, it's kind of like leaving Gilligan's Island, like small town behaviors, like, you know, small neighborhood where there's no real neighborhood watch enforced with formality, with guidelines, etc., etiquette. This is like small town 1950s, like looking through the blinds, or even in spellcasting, like asserting one's will over, let's say, meager creatures, let's say like flies, or, you know, to spy on you, or other things to kind of penetrate your realm. So it's kind of leaving that behind. It is leaving it behind. It's another collective. You see, 8 of cauldrons. There's no cauldron here except that one. This is the first time in using this deck ever that I noticed that there's only one cauldron, and so it is a representation of a collective there. Which, if you're looking at the number 8, it's sense of like infinite, like you thought it was going to last for a long time. You warmed up to the idea. There was a certain understanding of like, this is what your investment will depict. So it's like, nah, forget that. I know what it's doing. It's causing a lot of chaos and confusion. So I'm leaving towards an area of peace. Like, I'm naturally a peacemaker, and even if I wasn't and I was going through these symptoms, like, I have to look out for myself. This is not it. This is not the answer. And forget about the nostalgia of past times. Like, I have to look out for myself in the here and now, rather than because this is where I'm at, you know? All right. So the feeling that we invoke in others is the inspiration to do, you know, do your duty, you know? So this Queen of Swords was coming up upright, but then when it landed, it was inverted. And this was in reversal, but now it landed on my lap upright. So there's a quick turn of events, like a turntable. So some people may be DJs here, but they certainly understand like the placement, the pinpointing of where you're at, where you need to be, and accessing certain points without going too far back, without making a complete U-turn and having to take the toll road and this and that when you don't have fast track or whatever. So there's something about like not having to backtrack, but access certain points of like punchlines, one-liners, truths, and that's to seek closure. So this is like for once and for all, we're gonna put an end to this. That's what it's showing here, and it's speaking up for sure. Let me see. So it's also popping. So there's like fae, elementals, other energetics that you're not quite conscious of. I guess the dominant, the majority here are not as tuned into. Like, okay, that's nice. Okay, Peter Pan, blah blah blah. But you know, to give more accolades to other energetics beyond us can be a huge up level for you. Like to know that you're like, you know, you don't control everything. You know that you're not the only life form out here. You know, like how much it takes to live your life, and what is comprised of like making that even come into fruition. So why would you think that you're the only one here that's like, that you're like the head honcho basically? There's so many other workings that are inexplicable, especially at this time, that you have to like kind of give room for. So anyway, I'm just saying, like, give weight to the fae and other elementals or other forces beyond you, because they're also just as much as the cue is to, just as much as they're popping your comfort bubble, your that auric field, there needs to be a realm of expansion. So that's kind of like inspiration to do the same. Okay, let's get one for, you know, a message from the fae for that card. That one. Your dog is doing a boot scootin' boogie across my new carpet. So they're talking about dog shiz. So it's like, if you were to allow this to happen, your whole apartment or whatever, your whole place would basically reek of shiz, if not have, was it, trail marks. So there's something about how there's someone close by, like, you know, man's best friend, that is like stinking up the place, that is using your resources, your own domain, as like, they're shitting on your domain. That's basically what that is. So there's like a hidden like frenemy. Yeah, especially with Jafar like listed there in the initial, wherever that was. Yeah, you see, and they're sitting down too. What's a red belt in karate? Do you know? I have to look that up. But anyway, that's what it's showing me. Like they're doing a little dance, scootin' boogie across my new carpet. Yeah. So anytime you have something like new or good to share, somebody's always shitting on it. Like, oh, that's as much as you can do, or like, you know, so for me, it's like, I just started this pop-up thing, like, I think in June. Yeah, summer solstice. Okay. And, I could hear, the haters like, oh, they're only, you know, they're just hating. And, the truth of the matter, from what I understand, is, I don't know if this is still the norm, but, you know, businesses usually, don't do as well, or how do I don't know the particular saying in this, but like the gist is that for the first 2 years, it's kind of like down under. It's kind of not as profitable in financially speaking, or they do not survive past 2 years. And so when you're looking at those statistics, if you're looking at it just like that, plain and simple. You have to give yourself some leeway. Like, come on, forget about the haters. You know, if you're looking at the norm, uh, and you can take your wins um, uh, without giving emphasis to the losses. Like, you're doing really well for yourself. So there's something, okay, so it's just the awareness of, again, the emphasis of having to leave something behind and like call it a day, you know, done with it. What's that song? Backyard Boogie Oogie Oogie. What is it? Yes, it's I don't know. Oh, and so the response to that is, we're gonna boogie oogie oogie until you just can't boogie no more. Yeah, boogie no more. So go with your current vibe. Okay, so the feeling that we invoke in others right now is kind of a mixed batch. It all makes sense though. Okay. So this is great because it's like sometimes the agent of change are just those like normal mundane things. You know, the NPCs that are doing their job in the dime a dozen shit talking, and or like trying to scoot you out of your house, like trying to shit on it, and so that they can you're no longer enticed or allured by this new environment, and then they take over. So I get the feeling of that with people trying to do that with my house, my physical residence, in like attacking the heart and soul of home, so that you know, it'll go up to foreclosure or whatever, and then they can take that on. But the leaks in my house, like, they're not as much anymore. Like, I'm up to like $1,000 in debt from like all that leaking, and you know, so now I think there's other protection that's like, there's other things that, should I say, hold on, Seven of Cups. Yeah, so it's bringing in the abundance. It's showing, it's becoming more revealing. So okay, what I wanted to say, because like there's this huge gnarly spider in like my patio area that just appeared like a few days ago, like maybe 3 or 4 days ago, and it was there for maybe like the third day. But after I'd mentioned like I'm building like antibodies, and I didn't feel like the impact of like of their sting or their venom it's like slim to nothing within its like potency of its venom. The next day, a bird must have eaten it, because I didn't see it anywhere. Like, it was removed, it was gone after it built like a substantial web. So it's like, thank you birdies. So like the bushes, like, it just came out, you know. So that's so awesome. Thank you. And then yeah, they wanted to say that. So you may once you acknowledge, once you're aware of certain frequencies in your life and what their intention is and how powerful you are in your non-reactive state, just like your response, like, oh, my body didn't even respond like how it normally, how, you know, you would think it would, then that energy is like taken away. Like, okay, you passed that little pop quiz, and so that's so cool. Okay, all right, anything else? I want to get one from here with regards to that expulsion. 24:31 on the clock. Suffer and succotash. That's a shed load of sweet corn. Maize. Okay, so yeah, it's bringing in the abundance. I keep, like, every now and then I keep seeing that phrasing, suffer and succotash, in my feed. So it's relative to a certain energy. That's so that's how I track energy. So there's just, I didn't pinpoint who that was though. it's like somebody who whispers to themselves, like gripes and complains to themselves, like suffering succotash. Anyway, but this one is like transmuted. That's a shed load of sweet corn. So there's abundance to come through, but like corn doesn't really give that many nutrients, I think. However, it does provide a variety of other resources depending on how you manufacture, you know, its qualities. So not to underestimate, you know, the version of Ten of Pentacles that comes to you. All right, what else do you want to convey? Like how, what feeling do we invoke in others? So for here, it feels like people are staying in their own lane. There's a certain etiquette, like even in like road tripping, you know, in transit in the Empire, that like people are keeping in their own lane. They're following like the traffic rule, etc. The Lover's card. Let's say in reverse. Lovers, which is fire. Five of Cups in reverse. Okay, so it's having to say goodbye in you know, old, outdated partnerships. It's already a goodbye to that. So it's like in with the new, out with the old. Like by comparison, things are, you know, coming like out of order, it feels like, from its usual. Like it's usually out with the old, in with the new, but like there's a surprise, like, hey, you know, this is like an introduction, sets a tone to the abundance that follows. So just as like the Queen of Wands has with the field of or even a bouquet of sunflowers, that's also depicted in the Sun card. So you know, like basically sunflowers are just huge weeds, right? Very resilient weeds, and a variety of them. And so not like looking at that, Queen of Wands is magical. Oftentimes a witch, a practitioner, etc. Very highly attractive. And so that's what it's showing us here, okay? That's what they're known for, like the sunflower. And so it's leaving that shiz behind, because like, I know it's not like what's an abundant vegetable. Let's say avocado, okay? Something you can have like substantial, like as the closest thing to a meal. But it's corn. Shed load of it. All right. What feeling do we invoke in others? Anything else? I think we're just gonna keep this one short a little bit. Two of Pentacles. So things are in balance. I think there's a sense of wonderment, especially when things end up balancing out. Especially when you comply with the forces of nature. Like, I don't control everything. And even though it may feel like disorder at first glance, it's like you get the wealth of seeing like a little, like a light at the end of the tunnel, a depiction of, you know, abundance, to say it's okay to let go of this other stuff, you know, this other realm. So does that mean no? Because there's a I guess a separate alter ego that I have. It's not fake, it's just a separate side to myself in my other arenas, and so I'm not meant to stop it. I'm just supposed to kind of alter it with specific intentions, which that's what I am doing. So it's not the same. It's not the same. It's a different form of artistry that I am engaging with, the taboo side of wonderment, of exploration. So, all right, what feeling? I'm gonna do this separate, okay? What feeling do I particularly invoke in others right now? 5 of Spears. Extroverted, like a heightened level of competition because I caught it with my wrist. Also like, I'm also a riot. Do you hear that rumble? That's from the wind. So they paint the colors of the wind or something like that. Pocahontas energy. Oh yeah, like very like a force to be reckoned with. Okay, so Page of Cauldrons in reverse, 7 of Spears in reverse. But this is just like I'm giving love to myself. I'm giving accolades to myself. So I'm not showing up. It's not a matter of defense. This is kind of defense magic in pouring back into your own cup. So those that see it, see it. Those that don't, it's more like this energy is more of like humbling, okay? Combative humbling. Whereas this is more of like a vibe of pouring into my own cup, so I'm not showing up for like all feuds. Let me get anything more from here. Eight of Swords in reverse. Yeah, it's unstucking myself. Unfrickin' myself. Frick me, baby. Oh, yeah. What is that? That's funny. Lemon. I've never met a flavor rice I didn't like. Oh, so some people like that energy. Dominantly speaking, like people are baffled, but this is like the level of dominatrix that they can have like on a day-to-day level. Because yeah, for sure. That's so weird. So that's a feeling I invoke in others. Let me say one more. I'm a thought leader in porta potty space. Yeah, this is definitely Tokyo shit, Tina. Tokyo shit. But it's like undercover because it's universal. It's like the innuendos are like the basically double meanings. It doesn't have to be sexual, but like the double meanings of the lingo. And raise your hand if you smell sausages in reverse. Daddy, would you like some sausages? Yeah, in reversal. So since it was in reversal, I would say like you don't have to raise your hand, like it's already obvious. Oh my gosh, this is so dominatrix, like kind of like LGBTQ level, like harness strap on, like 18 and up kind of energy. But it's like I know what you want, I know what you need. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Okay, I think that's it. No, they said one more from here as the Empress. So I got, that's weird. Because I guess the Emperor's, you know. I'll brush my teeth if you brush up on your cooking skills. Oh, Tokyo shit. Oh, so this is not like cooking, like as in cooking meals. Like, I couldn't do, you know, this is more of like let her cook. Yeah, so it's more of an act of, so a lot of shit talking. So like people, so this is like, oh, so what you got? This is you know, I'll stop talking my shit and brush up and like clean up or whatever. As soon as you brush up on, you know, your like manifestation. So this is like this is cute, you know. Okay, what does my divine collective, what feeling does my divine collective invoke in others right now? It's your turn. Yeah. Emperor in reverse. Oh. Okay, so you're in a league of like boss status, but it's like quiet boss status, like you don't shove it in people's faces. Like this is when upon introduction you don't go like, I am the CEO or CFO of blah blah blah. Yeah, magician in reverse. Oh dang. Or like you don't say like, oh, I'm an alchemist, I'm a, you know, whatever. You don't intro with that. But there's like an underground energy to you too. Wow, I have some powerful people here. But they're also within the same tier of management of roles. There are some dark workings, some dark practitioners there. So let me get some, do we get clarifier here? Here, from here. Okay, so what feeling do you evoke in others? Some people like want to test you for sure. Okay, again in reversal. I think I'm ready for kids. Then I look at my plants. Okay, so I think these are people who have maybe like hit ground zero in their workings. It could be associated with the karma because of ill workings or guilty by association, whatever the case, or like even by curiosity. Okay. So this is the desire. Like if you're all the way at the bottom, there's only one way to go, which is to, you know, level up to the top. And so there's a desire to do better for yourself, but then you're looking around you and you're like, oh god damn, my plants, I can't even feed my plants water. That doesn't even require cooking. Like that's crazy. So it's National Friendship Day, and frankly I'm gonna need some volunteers. So this is gonna, okay, so the feeling that you invoke in others is the need for community, the need for assistance. Like there's a declaration of it. So rather than other people needing your help, this is more so you're needing their help more than ever. So the feeling you invoke in others is kind of like a billboard. Like people really don't see that you're doing well, and or as well as you normally are, and so it's a desire to be there for you because everyone's hit hard times. But at the same time, there's like people, like normally what my cue is that I can't get too involved. Like that might be an association of karma, so I can't be as enveloped or involved. um yeah, my divine collective. I've got an extra pacifier and a bag full of diapers. Let's party. Okay. So like I only got what I got, and I can't, it's not my job to access anymore in order to give. Okay. So, okay. But this is also saying you get what you get and you don't throw a fit, because okay, because there are others that are not doing as well either. So feeling that, yeah, okay. Okay, so this is not scarcity mindset. This is just kind of like a caution precursor, like just, you know, be mindful, yeah, of that. Like be grateful. Be grateful for what you've got. So there's that's the era that we're talking about for you. Okay. Are we gonna? I thought I was gonna have to, you know, take a transit. So anyway, was once a man named Ted, the old Ted, and pulled pork pizza. Let's discuss. Because we talk about these are on to better, like superior. We're not just talking about the crust that's meant to be crust, you know, but also like the toppings, like the works basically, and elevated works, like pulled pork, hello, pizza, yes, okay, and then that's the and then third card was I actually I only had to fluctuate. So there's like no, there's no longer shit within you. There's no longer like waste within you. I let go of a lot. So the only thing to let go of is basically some steam. You know, I'm a little teapot. Toot toot toot. So basically, yeah. Anyway, we'll get some final closure cards, okay? So, we got one for my Divine Collective. Okay, so one shot out over there, 10 of Cups in reverse and 7 of Pentacles. So just wait for it, wait for it. It's coming, this sense of happiness. But what fell in between my two shoes is King of Cups in reverse. So, there is an emotional manipulator, King of Cups in reverse around, like in between, like, you know, my chain hang low. A lot of people that talk a lot of shit. So basically love bombers. It's like it landed right between like my shoes that are like laid out like that. And so it's like just wait for it because they're gonna tell themselves, they're gonna, you know, they're gonna look at it in front of everybody. Yeah, communicating. Ace of Pentacles, yeah, for sure. After people are gonna tell us, don't worry about it. That's for my Divine Collective here. Yeah, for sure. It's like you see what's happening, and you like normally would kind of say something about it, but for here, it's saying like they're gonna, what do you call it? Become unhinged, and it's gonna be publicly shown. Like they cannot retract that. Like my ex, like basically, it was like on the level of a harassment. It was like the level of like ultimate intimidation, like trying to put me in jail, like use like ouch, crazy, in front of like a certain collective, and it's like you cannot take that back. You cannot unsend that email. That's written. That's scripted in stone. There's stuff like that happening. Okay, so for my Divine Collective, you're going to, you know, just look out for that. Okay. So for me, my oh wait, I was gonna do a takeaway that like, okay, so this landed in my cubby thing, Knight of Wands in reverse. So there's, you know, a 2-cup holder thing. So it landed in the one with like the empty straw thing and a strand of hair. Whoops. Anyway, so like the spot that you have holding for a certain energy, there's like players like at a juvenile energy trying to like slot themselves in there. But you're aware of it, you know? Okay, so I'm aware of it. Alright, so my first takeaway is 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Since I know that I'm enough and no lacking, like this doesn't come off as a threat. This is just like an awareness of like, okay, crowd control, you know, doormen, like gatekeepers, like get, you know, there's measures in place. Okay, the second takeaway is 3 of Cups in reverse. Having to say goodbye to old shiz and giggles. Like, I'm not tapped into 43 on the clock. I'm not tapped into going to other readers as much. Like, it's not 100 per day anymore. It could be like more like 50 per day. But it's like background stuff. So okay. My third takeaway is Justice in reverse. So things are going to like methodically turn out, because this is like, Justice is abundant on its own, and it's abundant card like that is kind of in the workings already. So well, all 3 depict like as a trio to become upright, and so the 5 of Pentacles in that is more like it's going to like incrementally come through. Like this element of celebration is going to come through. This element of justice is going to come in like forthright. And so it's going to come in methodically, like, you know, in parcels, basically. So I'm going to put the Knight of Wands back into here, and upright though. And then, oh, Queen of Wands. Talk about putting people in their place. Like, I understand it. Queen of Spears. And then it cut to 5 of Swords in reverse. So, like, I forego that, and I'll whip them back into shape. Okay. Do we get clarifiers? No, I think that's it for now. Oh, I've also been getting like little psychic attacks. I'm like, what? This is like a junior level of magic, or I have become a lot stronger in my energetics that like I notice when people are trying to throw in psychic attacks, but like I don't have to like fight it off anymore. Like I don't have to consciously do those things. So I can get clarifiers for here, okay? So, for you on the waiting part, I'll just get one for you. The longest word you can type with your right hand is lollipop. There's something about, okay, I don't know. With your right hand is lollipop. I don't know why it's like that. So the level of patience people are going to tell themselves, okay, in your doing side, the most that you're going to do in communication, has an element of like lightheartedness, you know, like how many licks does it take to get to the center of it, to the center of the problem, or of the issue anyway, or it's like stealing candy from a baby basically. So this is an easy win for you. Yeah, it fell in my cup holder this time, like that. Yeah, for sure. Oh, the light is coming through. Do you see that? Oh, such brightness. Yeah, for you. Okay, so what goes in the Five of Pentacles in reversal for me? Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet sipping her soy latte. Basically, not soy, but yeah. Just chill. They're saying, just chill. You're enough. Your moment is enough. Your $1.07 cup of coffee is enough. Like you're good. Okay, don't question it. Three of Cups in reversal goes in there. You're giving me all the feels. Oh, what feeling do we evoke in others? So it's like a deep-seated feeling. It's not just like doing away with shits and giggles. There's like undercover love here, undercover celebration. You're giving me all the feels. You're giving me all the feels. Okay. All right. What goes in Justice in reverse for me? Third takeaway. We caught Bobby Hawk and Loogies at Hobby Lobby. So, okay, let's say a warehouse of like crafting or whatever. There's some people really doing like some shit talking, like juvenile shit talking, like trying to not just like rain on your parade, but like emphasis. So you have to hawk a loogie in order, like it takes effort in order to like low key shit on somebody's, arena. Yeah, so, things are being documented and noticed for sure. Okay, that's it. The feeling that we invoke in others. This is good. This is good. It's like especially with that end portion for sure. So there's an explanation of the energies around us, and it's not quite cookie cutter to what we've experienced. Again, things feel out of order, but not quite in disorder. So very nice. All right, thanks very much for all donations provided in and of light and love that reciprocate equally and therefore abundantly. But now that this reading is officially over, I call back all my power, energy, essence, gifts, strength, possibilities, properties, passions. Even those that call upon cash, generate, bring, magnify, multiply, or any variation thereof. Ill will, intent, thought, form, pattern, and any variation thereof, the aforementioned ill will, intent, thought form, pattern, and or entity to pass through the white light of the Holy Spirit for cleansing, for blessings, for reformatting to love and light energy, and to be refortified in me, only me, hassle free, no doubt, and no attachment, except for all bonus points. Now that upon closing the portals in this reading, I send all energies back to their appropriate locations outside of mine with their appropriate karmas to assisting with the sequence of roll out in light and love. I close the portals in this reading. Now.